You guys know what time it is. Get strapped in and ready for some good times. This is the Blowed Out Podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's your fatty with a natty. Coming to you from cold and wet northern Utah. But we knew it was coming. It couldn't stay nice forever, right? Anyhow, how's everybody doing in their neck of the woods? Hopefully good. We are on, the 15th day of the government shutdown? I know, it's nothing to laugh about. It's also not uncommon. It's not real common, but it's not like it's the first time. And I know a lot of people will say it's not the first time that DJ T has done it. But it's also pretty common for all of them. I believe we addressed this a little bit in the last episode. I've been through at least one for sure, a long one that I did not get paid or back paid for. It's pretty common. I believe the last one that I went through that I didn't get paid or back paid for was Obama. So that was cool. Before they made it a law that we had to get back paid, even though apparently they're going to try and skirt that. Anyhow, it'll be over sooner than later. Hope everybody's surviving, the ones that are affected. I know a lot of people are worried about it. Like I said, it'll be over sooner than later, and everything will return to the new normal that we apparently all have to get used to. On the flip side, I was going to insert a joke here, but she wrote it for me. So a lot of people are saying that they could have voted for the other one, who just today apparently was quoted, at least I think it was today, as saying that she has had people tell her, and she believes, apparently, that she is the most qualified candidate to have ever ran for presidency. You can't make that shit up. I'm not going to get into whether or not she would have been a better choice than the current administration, but we can't talk about the delusion that is apparently running rampant in whatever color world she lives in, because, yeah. But 107 days, and a solid book deal out of it for what was, earlier she said something like the most feverish 107 days of a campaign ever. She's outside of her mind, y'all. Like I said, I ain't saying she would have been worse, but I'm saying she's more delusional. She is a crackhead, and she is outside of her mind. So, you can take it for what you want. I think it would have been a horrible decision. I know I've mentioned before that I was going to say necessarily, but I definitely don't agree with everything that the current administration has done or is doing. But I know deep down, I didn't vote for either one of them, so you can hold me at that, I guess, if you want to be mad about it. But, because I knew that both of them were going to be a shit show, and turns out I was right. But I'm certain I've said it before, the other one would have been a way bigger shit show. Sorry. There's just no two ways around that. Also, can we talk real quick about this? Oh, Lord. Peace deal. Am I super happy that Hamas released some hostages, or the hostages, or a handful of hostages? I generally don't know, or I honestly don't know the number, because I try not to keep up that much. But speaking of delusional, when he came out and said that he has brought peace back to the Middle East. Sorry, man. Dead wrong. You are dead wrong there. There is not peace in the Middle East now. There wasn't peace in the Middle East yesterday, nor will there be tomorrow. I know I've talked about this before. There is nothing any single person is going to do to bring peace to the Middle East, as I'm doing air quotes. Just ain't going to happen. Get some hostages released? Cool. Get a couple of days ceasefire? Very cool. Peace in the Middle East is about as much stretch as Kamala being the most qualified candidate for presidency ever. Sorry, just is. The Middle East wants no peace. They've never been at peace. They probably will never be at peace. I wish that wasn't the truth, but it is. In my time here on this planet, I have seen nothing resembling peace in the Middle East. Again, nor do I ever expect to. They've literally been at each other's throats since, I don't know, before the Bible, if that's your thing. So, what on anybody's planet makes them think that it's going to start anytime soon is way beyond my comprehension. Sorry, guys. What they need is a dude standing over there with some good-ass barbecue, some nice cold beverages, and have a big sit-down, and then just a dude standing there with a giant boombox playing like Toto. Or, some sort of just nice yacht rock. Tell me that. You sit down and eat a good-ass meal, have some good drinks, and then just jam some yacht rock. Maybe play some cornhole. Not that kind, but our kind, Western cornhole. I'm telling you, they'll be getting along sooner than you could shake a stick at. And then in the morning, we get up, we go out in the sand dunes, we crank up some good tunes, throw on our helmets, and go ride in the sand dunes. Be awesome. I'm telling you, it's perfect. I'm not going to run, but, if I did, you could vote for me. Might be a little hard to convince him that Lamb of God goes real hard, when you're jumping dunes, but maybe we could start out with, Deep Purple, work our way up to like Static X, then maybe work on the Lamb of God stuff. I'm telling you, they'd like it. Once it's in your helmet and you're getting ready to launch off a dune, trust me, you'll be on board. I'm telling you. Anywho, back to being wet, and cold. I know a lot of you guys have seen just ridiculous amounts of rainfall or moisture. We've had over 4 inches so far this month in Salt Lake, which is just bonkers. I know a bunch of you guys up in Alaska are getting it real hard. We talked about this a couple months ago when everybody was getting pounded, down south and in the Midwest. Lord, I screwed that up. But apparently now it's our turn. That is a lot of damn rain, especially in these parts. We've had flooding and all kinds of madness that you can't even, I haven't seen this since I was single digits. And if it works up to be that kind of a year, like 82, 83, man, better get your snow blowers ready, because that was crazy. For anybody who wasn't around during that time or doesn't know, I remember going out with my dad. Like I said, single digits, little kid. We would go out like every morning with the R.C. Willey yardstick. Remember those? I probably had a few of those busted over my butt cheek. But we would go out every morning to see how much new had accumulated, and it was a shit ton. So if it's going to be anything like that, start, like I said, get your snow blowers ready and just start pre-packing sandbags, because we're in for we're in for a ride, guys. But like I said, hopefully wherever you guys are at, you're doing okay, staying safe. Hopefully all your stuff ain't getting washed away. Lord, here we had a train bridge just clean wash away. Luckily, somebody saw that before. That turned out really poorly. It was just gone. I mean, you could have drove a car under the damn thing. So, like I said, hopefully none of you guys are experiencing anything quite that bad. If there's anything we can do to help, feel free to reach out. That's never good. If we were still just being silly on TikTok or something else, I would just say that I'm pretty used to record moisture. Sorry, couldn't help it. Funny though. Sadly, it's probably from getting sprayed with the hose, not what anybody else was thinking. So, there is that. I've gotten to a place where I'm okay with it. I've accepted it. Luckily, just in time for all this rain, we've officially wrapped up the Bonneville Salt Flats season, as well as the motorcycle hill climb season. Big congratulations to all the winners of the East-West National Shootout last weekend in Ohio. All our friends and family, you guys killed it. Congratulations, all of you. You did a phenomenal job. Also, congratulations to all the guys who set records out on the salt at the World Finals. And glad everybody made it safe, mostly sound, mostly safe, mostly sound. And like I said, congratulations again. And next year, be ready to come out swinging. We've got some big things planned for next year's X12. I know it's a little early to start talking about it already, whereas things just wrapped up. It's time to crack a beer and relax for a couple of months. However, I would implore you guys to mark your calendars for May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of next year for X12 here in northern Utah. Like I said, the Maddie and I have got some big things planned, along with others, and we're going to come out swinging and be ready for you guys. We're going to have a great time. So keep that in mind. Get your calendars marked. Then you can relax. Crack a cold one. And I know I've probably said it a million times, and you'll probably hear it a million more between now and then. If you guys, for anybody who hasn't been, or for those of you guys who have been in the past to like the old Widowmaker, man, I'm telling you, you guys got to come out. It's a blast. You just can't beat it. Prices are cheap. Crowds are great. The climbing's phenomenal. The weather's perfect. It's not blistering hot yet. Trust me, you're going to want to come out. You just can't beat it. You'll see some crazy, great hill climb action. Have lots of fun. You might even get to see a couple of us and hang out with us. It's always a good time. So like I said, get your calendars marked. We'll plan for you. On that note, my butt cheeks are going numb, and I've got to make sure that my pipes haven't frozen. All right, I'm teasing. It's not that cold, but I'm going to take a little break. So we'll be back here in a minute. Are you a business owner or marketing director for your company? Would you like to explore the potential benefits of advertising on the show? The Blowed Out podcast currently reaches listeners in over 104 cities spread across 13 countries worldwide. To explore advertising options, including budgeting and frequency, email us at blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com and be sure to include marketing in the subject line. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that Life After Placement, our friends of the show that you guys may or may not recall that we've had on, are having a birth mom dinner in Ogden, Thursday, November 13th. You can learn more and RSVP at bravelove.org if you would like to learn more about that. This is a great nonprofit dedicated to providing education, resources, and support to birth mothers nationwide. They're really great people. They do a lot of great things. So if you're interested in, like I said, if you're interested in attending or learning more, go to bravelove.org to find out more. Also, before I forget, if you guys recall, I made mention of gold hitting 5,000 an ounce before Christmas. It's like 42.36 right this minute. So at this rate, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we hit it before Thanksgiving. And not that I can afford any, but man, if you can, better get in while you can, because it's just going up and up and up. That's unheard of prices. It's wild. But you guys already know that. So I guess to kind of wrap this all up and stay current-ish, one thing that I've been asked a handful of times recently about the show specifically is our format. Now, you guys, friends of the show, know that I'm all over the place. We're all over the place, whether it's just me or if it's me and Maddie and Miss Noel or whoever it is. Just kind of free form, and we like it that way. And I hope you guys do too. But the one thing that I will absolutely agree that I am not for lately is what seems to be some of the things threatening freedom of speech. You know, we talk a lot of shit, and it's across the board. We don't single anyone out. You guys know that. That's something that's a problem. Now, of course, that is not freedom of speech without consequences. But, you know, there is no reason why you can't say whatever you want to say to a degree. And I know we've talked about it a little bit before. Now, does that mean that you can say what you want to say at work? Absolutely not. For the most part, that is a private entity, and they are entitled to their opinions just like you are yours, and it could definitely bite you in the ass. I'm not telling you guys anything you shouldn't and don't already know. But when the day comes that we are no longer entitled to speak freely, just in general, again, not at work, not in court, you know, not in the places where you're not, but just in general, that is a scary proposition. That's a scary proposition for us here at the show, for anyone, as it should be. So I do not like the prospect of that. And that is one of the things that I will actively stand up and scream about, as should all of you. You know, like we've talked about before. Do I think that running out with a billboard is going to change anything? No. But by all means, feel free to reach out to your representatives and let them know where you stand on a lot of things. For the most part, we have it pretty good. At least in these parts. I know that some of you guys listening around the globe may not have it the same, and for that, I'm sorry. I hope that you all do. But that's a slippery slope that isn't going to end well for anyone. And I hope it doesn't ever come to that, obviously. But until then, that was a really long dramatic pause. Until then, I feel like we should just keep on letting it rip and having a good time and doing whatever we want to do within reason. But I'm afraid that it's going to come to a time where we are going to collectively have to stand up and make our voices heard. Hopefully, I'm at least doing a little bit of my part to help with the show. And hopefully, if something ever came to it, you guys would join me in doing so as well. Now, I'm not asking you to run out and buy my book or anything crazy just yet. I haven't finished. But, like I said, hopefully it doesn't come to that. But in the meantime, everybody stand up for what's right. And, just because everyone else is doing it or the mainstream media is saying this or that or the other, doesn't mean you have to follow suit. You guys already know that. You do what you think is right. But I would implore you to stand up for one another, which we are big advocates of here at the show. Even if we talk shit, I'll still stand up for your right to do whatever it is you feel, as long as it's within the right. Again, that kind of went off on a tangent, but it was something I've been thinking about. So hopefully it kind of makes sense, at least in a weird roundabout way. I feel like there is a lot of energy and effort being put out into the world, but not necessarily in the right places. And that can mean a any number of things, from people who are so worried about cops that they jump onto this sovereign citizen bandwagon. That's just goofy. If you buy into that, or if that's what you choose to believe, fair enough. Me personally, I'd rather just give them my driver's license and be on my merry way, but I know that in some circles that's an unpopular opinion. That's what I mean. I think that a lot of people are so ate up currently, and I guess that's unfair to say a lot, but at least some are focusing their energy and attention into places that they believe it should go. And I'm not saying that by doing that you're wrong or that I'm right or any of that. But I think collectively we need to focus on what is directly in front of us, not defunding the police or the IRS or any of that. We need to just try and get everything back onto the rails collectively before we start focusing on all these smaller other things. And again, I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. I just think that if we can somehow focus, which I realize focus is not my strong point. I'll admit it. I've accepted that. I'm in a good place with it. I'm definitely not good at focusing. But that being said, if we can focus all our energy and efforts into just getting the damn thing back on the rails, then we can address everything else. But right now, we've got to get it back on the rails before anything else, or the whole thing is just going to derail out into the desert or the ocean or somewhere where it's unrecoverable. And I say that probably more than I should, but I feel kind of like that's where we're at. And I know that some of you guys may or may not agree with me, but if you do, even if you don't, feel free to reach out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got an idea, that we can run with. If you've got something that you would like me to address. I'm nobody, but if I can use this little platform and there's something that you feel needs to be addressed, reach out. Like I said, you guys know the drill. bloatoutpodcast@gmail.com, on all the social medias. Let me know what you think. Let me know your ideas. Let me know if you love me or hate me. I'm all right with all of it. I've got my big girl panties on, so I can take it. Promise. The dog's looking at me weird, but I've got them on. It'll be all right. Anyhow, I'm not going to keep on rambling in this little ADHD rabbit hole that I've ended up in. So hopefully you guys have hung on this long and are still enjoying the show. Like I said, reach out. Let's talk about some stuff. You want to do a collaboration? Let's do it. If you want to be on the show, if you'd like us to read your email on the show, just let me know. In the meantime, we'll put some stuff together. We're always putting stuff together, but hopefully we'll talk to you guys here real soon. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Try and be good to one another. Stay focused, at least as much as me, which ain't much. So until next time, love each and every one of you. Tell a friend. Tell somebody you don't even like. Maybe it's good punishment. But either way, we'll talk to you next time, guys. Love you. Cheers.